This conference will now be recorded.
Awesome. I'd like to call this committee meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please, Cassie?
Luther,
Here.
Lewis,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Janicki,
Here.
Labar,
Here.
Wilson, Mo,
Here.
Zelik.
All righty. Has everyone had a moment to look over the agenda? Any modifications to the existing? If not, can I get a motion?
So move. Approval. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Approval prior meeting minutes. If everyone's had a moment to look at those, that's from February 1st. Any changes, corrections? If not, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On to business. Number one, slip fee changes.
So in accordance with the Waterways Commission and the state moving forward, seasonal slips will be charged by the slip length and not boat length. No updates as far as any increase to the actual amount. So some people, there may end up being a few people who want to switch slips, but in the end, it'll save some people money. Some people will have to pay more, but it's in line with the way the grant and aid harbors are supposed to be working. And so that's the way Alpena is going to start moving. I will tell you also, the state is considering increasing fees 10 to 15% in the coming years. So that is also something to look out for and keep in the back of your mind. Who knows if it'll actually happen and what the final percentage will be, but it is coming. Just don't know when.
Is there a reason for, I guess, with the state, on the state side, are they giving any reason as to just the increase, or is it just?
Not that they've told me. I know Ms. Dawson should be coming to Alpena, I want to say the second or third week of May. So I will let you all know just in case anybody wants to talk to her, but she's essentially in control of harbor operations for the state. So you'll be able to pick her brain if you come down to the marina and talk to her. But other than that, it's probably just inflation. I think Michigan has something over 800,000 boaters, and that's just kind of what happens.
Okay.
So on these slip fee changes, do you have a sheet as to, or some kind of information on where that's going, or?
So you can actually find it online. The Waterways Commission has transient fees and seasonal slip fees posted every year. I can email you one tomorrow, but as far as how accurate it's going to be for next year, I have no idea.
And these will go into effect next year, you're saying?
Yeah.
So not this year?
No.
I was kind of
That's
like,
what I was
well, that's a really good time to do it.
No.
So for 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
So will you have like how long each dock is and what
Mhm.
when will that be done?
I'll be working on the whole thing throughout the whole summer, taking inventory of all the slip lengths and making sure everything is as accurate as possible. And then I'll be releasing and sharing the information with every single person in the boater notification list throughout the summer, just to make sure everybody is aware of it and prepared.
Has it always been a slip length? We never adhere to it or what?
Yes, that is exactly it.
Probably no one did. I think when I went to Presqu'île, I think it was boat length.
For transients, yeah, it's very weird why they do it different.
Fancy we're talking about.
Seasonals, right?
So slip length is charged for seasonal boaters, and transient slips
Gotcha.
are charged by boat length.
Thanks.
So I don't know why they do that.
I'm in a pretty long slip.
There you go.
Lots of people are.
Need a bigger boat.
Oh.
Got one for you.
If that's all, number 2, project updates.
So we're working on putting together the RFPs for essentially the 2 big projects going on over there. We are having to put together a lot of bottomland conservation stuff that has to get approved with the state before it can be added to the RFP. So that is essentially where we're at with that. I want to say we were talking about getting the fuel lines out next week.
Yeah, next week we should have that out. It'll be just a 10-day bid, quick. Get it turned around, get somebody in here.
Okay.
So that's kind of our,
So it's no longer in the hands of Bottomland at this time, or the RFP goes out first and then it gets reviewed? Or how's that?
Bottomland's part, I believe, is in relation to the whole grant, or is it mainly just the dock part?
It's mainly the dock part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So ideally by next week, you'll have RFPs for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a lot of prep to do on the bank or on the, just the sidewalk end? As far as attaching and all that? I mean, is there more construction that needs to be done to repair?
I don't think so.
No, that's-
They should just hook right up to what's already there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There's a little bit of work, but when I was remembering it back when we bid it, I thought that there was a lot of work, but that was with the other
The
contract.
docks, yeah.
Yeah, so this one, yeah, Shannon said it's kind of a plug and play.
Okay.
We just need a little bit of that work done ahead, lift the docks out, a little bit of prep work, putting the hangers on and then installing the docks.
Okay. I mean, so what happens, we're March now, or we're in April now, sorry.
Yeah.
And the boats do start going in April. Do we what happens if we have to start moving? Do we have a plan in place if the docks are not being installed? And, because most boats, I'm kind of looking at the committee for this, most boats are in by Memorial Day weekend, right? If not earlier.
I
So-
think the contract says you're supposed to be in by June 1.
Well, yeah, June 1's the final date, yeah. So, I guess, do you guys feel like there's any chance that that date might get messed with a bit, install date?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, and I think you had talked about, even if we had to, we could probably move some boats around if we needed to.
Okay.
From there.
Yeah, hey, we've got enough transient slips, and the way the install will most likely work is they'll have to pull 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, they're not just gonna,
And so we can move those 2 or 3 boats for a day or so over to a transient slip. And then once the docks are installed, move them back over and just kind of do it in sections.
So how did we get so far behind? These, if we had to get permits or something for working in the ground, these docks have been here since September, October. How come none of these things haven't been filled out yet?
We had a transition and it's taken time. It's just the
It
fact of
seems
it.
like it's awful long time.
Well, this is where we are now, and so we will move forward from here.
It just seems like if you know the docks are gonna be delivered, then the permits and all that should have been taken care of. I'm not saying, I'm just saying,
I totally get it.
have docks show up in October and then the following spring, you're trying to get permits. Doesn't seem like, seems like something was dropped. The ball was
In
dropped.
an ideal world, we would have had Shannon here, basically, helping us through all this, but she took the other position, so she wasn't, readily available all the time to do that. And so we kind of had to make it through ourselves and fumble through, much like she did the first season she was here. We had to kind of learn it all and do some of that. So it's just, it's unfortunate, but that's the way it's come down, and we're dedicated to getting the things done, getting it righted and getting off on a good foot.
I know, Kevin, you and I have had the conversation about, touching base with the local news and talking about the installation of the new docks and, estimated install dates, and just so people are aware of it before.
Is there are you estimating any problems with contractors?
I don't think so.
No?
We're aware of a couple of people who are local that should be able to get it done pretty quickly once everything goes out. So
If they don't have
Well-
jobs going?
it will hopefully be easygoing from here.
Is the supplier part of this install or they just delivered and it's up to us to?
They just manufactured and dropped off, I believe, and
Because I think
well for the rest.
we had the option. I'm trying to remember now. I think at one point we had the option of them doing the install, but the cost was pretty steep, right? And then so we went with the option of they manufacture and deliver, and then we would handle it from there. Okay.
Would the bottom land of Val, is that something that would stall us? I mean, is that knowing the state, how things work?
It hopefully shouldn't.
It's the same paperwork we filed to get the grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why we have to do
Yeah, they
it all again and get it.
kind of move at glacial speed a lot of times. So, well, I hope that works.
Because you mentioned Dawson, is that, I'm trying to remember now, there was someone we were working with through the state, but they like passed away, like out of the blue. Is this a new,
That was the water.
the different,
grant
that was the waterways? Okay,
contact.
okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think does it make any sense, or I guess I'm asking the committee, does it make any sense when the RFPs go out? Can we just be notified and just, so we can see it and stuff like that? Or do we think that's even, we're not involved with, because when the RFPs go out and then people apply will they come back to this committee to be reviewed? Or will it be reviewed by staff and then move forward?
By staff, and then that's something that would
Okay.
be approved by council, but I don't see any problem with sharing it with all of you.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
But I think your idea of, a public relations release of sorts, keeping in the loop, because I've had, I don't know, a pile of people just ask, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Better answer now.
Yeah, and Kevin and I chat about that, and I have a couple people that work with us at the library from the news side, so I'm sure, of course, the city has their contacts with them as well. It's a small team, but we can make sure we touch base with them, and I know Tanner and I both were willing to be kind of committee representatives if they wanted to talk to like a committee member in those dialogues as well, so.
Well, such a nice positive improvement. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
broadcast a little bit.
Now, this is just me thinking, we don't know, there hasn't been any vandalism, any marking up or anything of the new docks. I know, I don't want to say it out loud, but yeah, but are we,
Not that I've seen.
okay. I just was thinking, I was like, man, it went all winter
Yeah.
in our history with what's happened.
Some goose.
Since that incident, there's been more eyes.
Observation out there. Okay. Yeah, there's a goose factor, but
Geese have been vandalized,
that's just them being christened into Alpena. Fair enough.
making their mark.
Cool. Any other?
What about the fuel dock, or is that all part of this or
It's a different RFP, but
dependent of it?
Same timeline.
Same timeline, kind of?
Actually, be our primary, I think that's what we'll.
Get that going. Yeah. Yeah.
If you have a choice, if you can't do them side by side, the fuel dock would be the primary.
And I'm assuming when that line goes in, then it'll have to be inspected again and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Is this like the final fix for this thing? Finally?
Yeah, this is it. This is.
yeah,
It's a brand.
Haven't we been working on this thing for like 10 years or something?
Okay.
Well, but being red flagged, I think, was the key to getting the grant for it.
Yeah.
It's the end of the line and we can't repair it. Now you have to replace it. So we got the grant.
All right. Cool. On to Harbor Master's report.
as I'm sure you're all aware, the first cruise ship is coming April 29th. So with that being said, myself and the two marina techs will be down at the marina starting Monday. They'll be down there full time until the first ship comes in, and I'll be down there probably about 80% to 95% of the week down in the marina. Throwing a table in that little building, and that's going to be my impromptu office for the summer. Gonna try to renovate the whole little area and make it into a bit of a community space. And that's about it. I think we're working on that sinkhole. Shannon's gonna get out, inspect it, assess it, and then I want to say that's gonna go out for a quick bid within the next week or so.
Yeah, it's the spot by where the crane is.
Yeah. That was fun.
The cruise ships, have we thought of maybe making like a little welcome center for the ship guests, or where they unload? Are they unloading it?
Well, they have like a welcome center.
All right.
Well, maybe not a center, the right word, but like they have a station that they set up, right?
We're pretty much hands off the cruise ships.
Yeah.
Except for opening the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I have one thing, since we're in that, one of the calls I got was the launch ramp docks. When are those getting put in?
They're in.
Okay.
Yeah, those, I think they've been in for a few weeks now.
All right.
Something like
Those
that.
you want, since I don't go over there. Okay.
I know Tanner had a couple questions in his about the break wall painting. I know, what was it, last year we had that because of the National Guard volunteered time? Was that how that got painted?
I think so.
It was National Guard, right?
Someone from the CRTC, I think it was
Okay.
a National Guard unit, yeah.
Yeah, more paint on the walkway than they did on their.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I think it was a lot, yeah.
Do we has there been any, I know that was kind of just like waiting on them kind of thing like that, but do we know if there's any plan to touch base with them again to see if that's going to happen again this summer, just to finish it out?
We could touch base with CRTC
Yeah.
and see if they have any more volunteer groups, but I don't know. Who was the contact for that? Do you recall?
I don't, they contacted us, yeah.
It's because they were just available. I don't.
Yeah, they had a
know that
team
have
in.
Any type of consistent,
Yeah.
time that they know that the volunteers are going to be here, but I think that was, do you recall what time of year that was?
Oh, that one.
Oh, you wouldn't,
I thought it was midsummer.
midsummer.
Yeah, it was late summer.
They kind of make a mess out of it.
They got some paint on the break wall.
Yeah.
It's volunteer work.
Do we,
I think if we were to, should it come up again, maybe get some tarps or something just to put down.
Run down to Harbor Freight, grab a couple of pop cloths
Yeah.
for $10.
are we basically at that point in terms of like the fuel docks and the docks? I know those are absolute priorities, but are we hoping to hit the rest of the break wall painting this summer if possible, or
It would be nice, but I can't really say it's on the front of my mind. Yeah.
I think let's get all this other stuff out of the way and the critical pieces, and then we can talk about that. And if there's another volunteer group, obviously that would be great.
I know that she spoke to maybe 3 different groups and got
yeah,
conversations started. And then when they go out there and they look at the job and they look at everything and they go,
yeah,
well, and that was the thing is the one group she contacted was a scout group.
Yeah.
The leader of the scout group is a professional painter. And he said, there's no way I'm getting a bunch of kids out here. He said, you're going to have paint. It would be worse than what's there now.
Yeah.
All over the deck of the break walls.
Left to paint half of it. I haven't been out.
Like 3/4 of it.
3/4.
Oh, 3/4 left.
Because they got like that
Just about, yeah.
kind of as it turns and it stops there. So still,
3/4 or 2/3, yeah, I bet.
Speaking of the break wall, I believe we're getting some new signage for out over by Big Red on the very end of it and right across the entrance to the marina. I think the Corps of Engineers is going to put together smaller signs so they don't block the view, and we're going to attach them to the actual guardrail so that they block the view even less. I think we agreed max size was what?
Yeah, just like an 18 by 24,
18,
just
yeah.
pretty low profile, really.
So it should be
required signage.
Shouldn't get too much in the way, at least.
Who owns that?
Little Red,
Red?
you want me to answer that?
Fine.
That's a fun one.
I know it is.
So the
Go ahead.
Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy owns the structure, Coast Guard owns the light, and DPI owns the land, and the Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy nonprofit has, supposedly there's an easement out there that exists that says that that lighthouse can be on DPI property. It used to be on a concrete block, and now it's on 6-inch, 8-inch diameter concrete footings, and so that's how it technically is accessed
And any maintenance on it or painting would be,
through the Michigan Lighthouse. So, and they have, I have been in contact with them. And so Shook is the president of that group, and he has interest in, maintaining it, but I mistook his group for being a group and not so much team of one. So it's not like they have like an existing budget to clean it up, that my knowledge. They have done other lighthouse projects, but so I'm just trying to get a feel for what that's all going to be. So that's who owns it technically.
I was just wondering because I know that our captain was pretty focused on that. And I don't know where he plays, if he's familiar with anything related to the association or whoever.
He liked to put his hands in a lot of different things.
There you go.
I don't think he really got anywhere with,
It's more an opinion.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll paint it.
Yeah. I know when we talked to him last, his biggest concern was the foundation of it, and not so much, he's like, the paint's the paint, but he was worried about it tipping over. And so he had, I think it was his hope was to try to coordinate with Holcomb to do, when they're doing their dredging work, to see if there's any way to get that dredge company to do, but that's total very beginning conversation. That's all I've heard from him, what his hopes are. So yeah. Any questions for Harbor Master report?
I just got one more. Do we know any more about the pump out? Whether or not actually grant, whether the city council approved it? That was our last meeting. I brought it up and nobody kind of knew.
We'd have to look into where that is as far as being awarded.
Are we able to, with something like that, are we able to request just like a report from Kevin on that? And if he just BCCs us all individually and there's therefore no discussion, it doesn't break?
We can send out information as long as there's no, reply and discussion.
Yeah.
You're certainly welcome to.
Okay. Is that something maybe we could get, just an update from you then? And then if we just keep it BCC, then there's no chance of any of us going like reply all on it. So, okay. This is a quick meeting. So if that's all from Harbor Master, and no more comments at this point, any comments from the public? Nope. Q. Any members' comments?
Yes. So you were asking me about if I was going to Airbnb my boat.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but there's another one down there.
Mhm.
What was the final, what to do that? What do they have? What's the hoops?
So essentially, there's a bit of a form that gets filled out for us, and then you get a dry dock inspection by the Coast Guard, and then that's about it.
And they got that dry dock inspection by the Coast Guard? All right.
Other than that,
What are we talking about?
This is the Airbnb of Patrick Marina. Yeah.
What our limit, did we set limitations on that? No, okay, we haven't.
I thought it was 2.
I thought
I thought it was.
we had a number on it.
I did too.
I spent many, many hours going through council minutes and everything, and nothing was ever passed.
In a council, it would
Been-
have been just an SOP, which would have been.
It was it 2 or was it
2, I think.
2 or 4.
I think we set it at 2, and because we established that if we got more than 2, then we can always re-review that. It's not set in
On a one by
stone.
one basis, yeah.
Yeah, I thought basically case by case was the recommendation to city council from us.
I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to do it. So I'll get with them after the meeting.
Well, you guys are
Plan.
talking. I'll see if I can find it.
I brought the SOP down to Kathy a few weeks ago and she said it didn't exist.
Because the form you're talking about, that ended up being modeled. It's the exact same form for like an apartment or house Airbnb, or is it?
It's
I'm trying to remember.
probably pretty similar. There's not really a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
And it's technically just the commercial agreement and you just check an extra box. That's all.
Any other member comments? I know we had talked about the scraping on the docks and that probably being due to the weather we have. Do you foresee any issues in the future where, I mean, in the past, we've always relied on kind of the snow or the ice to kind of secure those docks in, but with us getting less and less, I mean, I guess it is what it is. They're going to slip and slide a little bit during this winter, but.
As of right now, the only thing I can really think of to prevent that is to put plates underneath them when they're brought up. But
yeah,
right now, I think I was over there. I think I walked the whole side 2 days ago, and I think there is actually one board that broke, so we're going to get out and replace that. And a lot of the rougher scrapes and scratches will just take a day or so to sand them down, and that's unfortunately right now about the best we can do.
Okay. Yeah, because I think there was one, maybe like slip 15. I think there was one board right where it connects between the boardwalk and the slip that cracked, and someone just tacked it with 2 screws.
Yeah, we're gonna replace the whole board. Yeah.
Cool. Any other?
So you'll keep us up to date on, I guess, the 2 projects we got going. I mean, just a little blast, a little email or text message or something to us. I think it'd be good to know.
Yes, sir.
Be aware of it anyway. I'd like to know.
All right.
Let's plan to follow up on the information about the vessel Airbnbs, because I recall that there was something and that probably wasn't shared with you then, but we'll follow up on that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Cool. Any staff comments at this point?
Talking about here.
So the area by the marina building that's got the murals on both sides, I am going to be taking this summer to kind of turn that into a community gathering space, a little propane or natural gas bonfire pit, some patio furniture and picnic tables and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of make it a little bit more welcoming and open for the public, since we are in the social district and everything. Try to get the marina out there, a little more use, a little more public affection. So if anyone wants to help or donate anything to that end, please feel free.
Will it need to be roped off in any way because of with mechanics being right there? Or yeah,
I've talked to Arlie about it, and that whole area, he said, is pretty much free and open to use throughout the summer. So
It used to be kind of a collection area for junk.
Yeah.
Fun. Hopefully we can collect people.
I forgot to ask in member comments. The marina, the building itself, I know there was conversations of doing vinyl and all these other things. Is it just, is all that pretty much on hold right now?
On hold right now. We actually went through budget and we looked up our grant paperwork for this large grant that we have right now. And we have 3 years to spend the money. So the bathroom's kind of pushed because our all around for anything that the general fund hits, we're hurting right now because we've got so many. It's a good problem to have, I guess. We've got a lot of grants open right now that we have to have match funds for.
Yep.
And they're all reimbursement grants. So we got to spend all the money up front.
Yeah.
And then get reimbursed for it. And so our we're in that area right now. And so we're looking at some of those things. And so we elected to move the bathroom project out a little bit. So it's just some of the things we're looking at.
Cool. Any further comments? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Do I? All right. Second. Cool. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're adjourned. Next one is set for